Hi everybody, this is Rebecca Lynn Barkley, aka Boobot1987. This is my review for today. And today's review, ladies and dudes, well, this is it everybody. This is the most biggest moment that everybody has been waiting for. And since I did my last two latest lists somewhere around here at September. And now for today's next review is going to be my movie review number 8. So here we go, ladies and dudes. Here is my 8th movie review of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. One of my favorite Disney films of all time. One of the most underrated and truly one of the most darkest Disney films of all time. And yes, it is based by a book by Victor Hugo. So anyway, ladies and dudes, let's head on to my 8th movie review of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. And I got a paper to prove it to tell you what the story is all about. So, the movie starts off somewhere around in Paris, France. There was a very mysterious bell ringer named Quasimodo who's been living in the bell tower for the last 20 years since he was a little baby, after when his mother got killed by a mysterious man who raised the child as his own, a dude named Judge Claude Frollo. So in the last 20 years, Judge Frollo had raised Quasimodo and take him as his own child. He had told Quasimodo not to go outside of the outside world is because he told Quasimodo that he had no idea that in Paris, France, the world is very cruel and wicked, and there is no sign of good people that Quasi can trust for as long as he is in the bell tower in the last 20 years. But in Quasimodo's opinion, he does want to go outside to the outside world that he had never gone before since he was a little baby. He really wants to know what the outside world is like, and he wants to get to know some people if they'll ever trust him for what kind of man that he really is from right now. But sadly, he had no idea what his master, Frollo, has some evil plans in mind somewhere around later on in the movie. And to tell you the truth is, Frollo is going after so many gypsies and start killing off so many of them as he can. And also, he wanted to burn Paris, France down into flames of hell. And this is where the biggest darkness moment came by in this movie. So let's just say there's only a couple of questions remain. Will ever Quasimodo can get out of the bell tower for good so he can follow his own dream to live in the outside world? Or will Judge Frollo gonna burn up Paris, France? Or what's gonna happen to those poor gypsies before or after they're going to get captured by Frollo and his evil men? So anyway, ladies and dudes, that is my whole entire plot of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. So anyway, ladies and dudes, I guess you were thinking, what the heck do I think about this movie? Duh! I love it! This is one of my most favorite Disney films of all time. I love the storyline, I love the characters, I love the score, I love the songs, I love the animation, I love all the angles that involved in this film. This is one of the best Disney films of all time, and yes, truly one of the most darkest Disney films of all time. And yeah, there will be a few things that involves too much information. So let's head on to my strongest points and the weakest points of the movie. I will say for my strongest points of the movie is it's a tie between the animation and the song. First off, I want to talk about the animation. It is so darn beautiful. It's so well done. It's very bright, very colorful, and sometimes it could be a little bit dark, but it is a very well done movie, and I really like a good animation film that has the most beautiful, brightful animation I have ever seen in so many years, I guess. And as for the songs, I love every single one of them. I like the Bells of Notre Dame. I love Out There and Topsy-Turvy, Hellfire, Heaven's Light, A Guy Like You. You know all these songs. They are so darn well done, and it's really cool and enjoyable to listen to. So I will say the strongest points of this movie is the animation and the songs. And as for the weakness, it's 0. I have no weak points at all for this movie. Not a single one. Well, maybe if there's only one weakness in the movie, I will say maybe this movie should have been a rated PG film or a PG-13 film, because it almost got involved with some of the bad words and some stuff that involves too much information about when Frollo has some lust feelings on Esmeralda. If you know what I mean. Oh yeah, another good strong point of this movie is the voice cast. I think they chose the rightful cast to play the characters so darn well. And speaking of the characters, let's go on to them right now. And I will say there's only 4 good characters I do like in this movie. They're the most likable ones or the memorable ones in the whole entire movie. First off, let's go on with Phoebus. A good-looking, blonde-haired dude who's the main captain of Paris, France, I guess. And yes, he is voiced by Kevin Kline. I will say for Phoebus, he is very cool-looking. He's a very nice guy. He has a great personality, great attitude, and he's a pretty cool captain overall. And he's one of the most trustworthy characters that you could trust in this movie. At least he's not on the bad guy's side. Well, he's been with Frollo for just, in the half of the movie, I guess. So, I will say Phoebus is a really cool character overall. And I will say for Frollo, I will say he's a decent villain in my opinion, but I will say the worst part about Frollo is, to tell you the truth, is he is the main pervert of this movie, because as you may know that Frollo is one of these villains who has some lust feelings on Esmeralda, and I don't know why he has lust feelings for Esmeralda. After all, he hated the gypsies for the last 20 darn years, but why the heck is he having lust feelings of a gypsy girl that he truly hated? I know that makes no sense. But I will say for the good part about Frollo is definitely the voice actor who plays him. The late man, Tony Jay. I will say Tony Jay did a fantastic job playing with this very cold-hearted villain who is very cold, very dark. He's very deadly in so many ways, and he's very strong, and sometimes he could be a softie, maybe. And he's also a good singer. And sadly, poor Tony Jay had passed away like a couple of years ago, and I forgot which year it was when he died. And I will say for Tony Jay, thank you so much for playing so many good cartoon characters that you did in the 90s. And you're a great actor, you're a great singer, and you're one of the best legendary actors ever in movie history. Alright, Now let's go to Esmeralda. What do I say about this girl who is definitely the main part of the story? And yeah, she is played by Demi Moore, and I will say for Esmeralda, she is a very good, likable character. She's very kind, she's very sweet, very lovable, so darn honest, and she is the only person that Quasimodo can trust. And I'm very happy that Esmeralda was in Quasimodo's side for all this time in the movie, and I'm glad that she did help out Quasimodo for what just had happened to him when those people are throwing fruits and vegetables on the poor Hunchback. And Esmeralda was so darn brave and so darn original to help out Quasimodo and, you know, to comfort him and try to protect him at all costs. But it's a shame that there'll never be a love couple in this movie. I think Quasimodo and Esmeralda deserve to be a love couple. Well, sadly, we never got our wish because Esmeralda is in love with Phoebus overall. But it doesn't matter. I think Esmeralda is a pretty cool character overall. And now let's go on to the main character of this movie, Quasimodo, played by Tom Holtz. I will say for Quasimodo, he is one of my most favorite characters in the whole entire movie. I really love his personality, his attitude, his kindness. He has a great he has really kind thoughts, and all he cares about is living in the free world, so he cannot live in the bell tower for who knows how long. I love Quasimodo overall, and he is one of the best characters ever. And now let's go on to my final thoughts of this movie. Overall, The Hunchback of Notre Dame is one of my favorite Disney films of all time. With a great storyline, great animation, great characters, great voice cast. I love the score, and I do love the songs, and I will say this is one of the best Disney films of all time, and I really do enjoy this movie very much when I was a little kid. So, overall, I decided to give The Hunchback of Notre Dame a perfect high rating score of 10 out of 10. You have better watch this movie to believe it. So anyway, ladies and dudes, that is my 8th movie review of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I hope you enjoyed this list, and join me next time for my next movie review is movie review number 9 of another good childhood favorite of mine, The Swan Princess. So be prepared for this movie to come, and I'll see you all later. Sayonara.